Now, this is followed up by the injunction that Adore filed against New Jeans, which a lot of people felt is pretty late. Like, why just now? As you know, last year, they Adore actually filed a case against some employees of Adore that are um, of working for New Jeans because they were trying to secure an advertising deal without the knowledge of Adore. So what Adore wanted was to for the court to simply state that all work of New Jeans will still have to be coursed through Adore because they are the official manager of New Jeans. That's what they want. If the court says so, if the court upholds that contract, then anybody who works with New Jeans directly will have to pay a fine. So then Adore and Hype can actually drag those brands, those companies, and whoever is involved in that to court. Okay. So naturally, if you're a brand, or do you want to get dragged into court by a big company like Hype? Of course not, right? So you're just trying to build a brand and run a business. But anyway, okay, so this is the thing. Adore is actually hitting it in the place where it actually hurts the most. And no one is talking about this. And this is just, I feel like this is actually a genius move for Adore. Because the fact is that New Jeans is one of the, if not the most streamed girl group right now, right? They're one of the most streamed girl group right now. This is their total streams on Spotify via K-Warb. So it's 5.71, almost 72, 5.72 million streams just on Spotify global. And they're less than 3 years old. On Melon, they clocked 524 million with only 4 songs. Imagine for 2024, that's how many they're actually getting. 2023, they had 758 million for 12 songs. And 2022, when they were rookies, they clocked in 279 million for 5 songs. So, really, one of the most streamed groups out there. In terms of sales, this is on Circle Chart. They clocked in more than 8 million copies sold of their albums. This is physical sales. This is just physical sales. So right around 150 million in revenue just for those streaming and sales. I did not account for anything else. That sounds like a lot, right? But the truth is this is just the revenue of 17 in one album. So I'm not demeaning what they have achieved. I am saying that exactly what I said when I was discussing the streaming numbers of Jimin in the US, streaming and album sales, those two, well, streaming specifically, that's not the biggest revenue source for a singer or for an artist. That's not the biggest revenue source. It's just a way for you to legitimize your name and to put your name out there. It's almost like a marketing channel, a marketing material, but not necessarily where you're going to get the majority of your income. So that means, but we know that they're earning a lot of money, right? So where are they getting the money that they're earning? From brand endorsements. So these are some of the ones that they got. They have Burberry, Armani, Chanel. This is Minji, Levi's, Musinsa. They have Stonehenge. They have Nike, LG Electronics, McDonald's. They have Apple. They have Coca Cola. They have a lot of endorsements. I think they have like 39 or something. I don't know. There's a whole lot of brands that are working with them. And that's really where they are getting the bulk of their money. Okay. So, um, the thing is that so according to Forbes Korea, they made an estimated 22 million in advertising revenue from approximately 31 advertisements last year. Okay, that's according to Forbes Korea. Now with what they are doing, with the reputation that they are destroying, and with this lawsuit that Hybe and Adore filed against them, who will work with them. Like, no matter how big of a brand I am not going to work with somebody who might get me sued, especially not in a country that does not, that isn't mine. Like, if I am Louis Vuitton, for example, you sue me in Italy, I might fight you because that's my country. But I'm not going to fight you in South Korea. That's your country. So they're most likely going to, you know, probably going to side with you. So this is their biggest revenue source and they are destroying it, right? They, meaning New Jeans and Mama Roach themselves, they're destroying their revenue source. How? By giving Hybe and Adore a reason to sue them. So if Adore actually manages to get the court to uphold their contract, their exclusive contract, no other brand will work with them unless Adore tells them yes. And while this lawsuit is ongoing, no brand is going to work with them because, as I've said, no brand will voluntarily get themselves sued. You are not that much of an that important of a brand ambassador for me. I might sick I might risk it getting sued if this is BTS. I might risk it. But if you're not BTS, nah, sure, no. I'm just, if I'm a brand, I'm just gonna wait until everything is over and I'm just going to move on to the next one. Right? I mean, New Jeans is big, not bigger than in terms of brand influence, not bigger than Blackpink as of yet. So I might as well just go to Blackpink, not going to go to you. So if we know now that this is their biggest revenue source, if this goes to court and it already has, then brands are just going to wait it out until the decision is made. If the court says no, you can actually work with them directly, then they might come back. But while this is ongoing, no brand is going to work with them. So they better be ready to not be earning anything as of the moment outside of what they're going to get from their streaming numbers, because there were talks that they're also denying or rejecting any kind of work that is being given to them by Adore. Okay. She gave an interview with Fast Company, which wasn't actually published until like late last year, and it is an interesting article. So here's a link. I will also post it later when I repost this live. I will put the link of this article if you want to read it, but it's very, very interesting. So here are some of the quotes. So they interviewed Mama Roach. Fast Company interviewed Mama Roach. So here are some of the interesting things that she said. With New Jeans, I was trying to target people who weren't interested previously. So this came from a question. The reporter first said, like, I'm not into K-pop, but I really like New Jeans. And she said, the reporter said, I don't know why. I'm trying to find out why. And this is her response. With New Jeans, I was trying to get people who weren't interested previously. I want them to become K-pop fans. The K-pop industry has traditionally been centered on K-pop fanatics and core fans, but I wanted to have a group that everybody, regardless of their gender and age, could love. So she's saying she wants GP. I wasn't really interested in idol groups. This is her, still Mama Roach. I wasn't really interested in idol groups. She said that she favors jazz. And guess who is the artist who has jazz as a genre that she actually worked with? She mentioned V actually. So the next question is, what did you hope to accomplish when you started Adore? She said, I wanted to spread beauty, at least what seems beautiful to me. I don't really agree with people who seek outside consultants when they're running their own business. I know best about my business. I do not have an MBA, but based on my 20 years of experience in this field and all the lessons that I have learned along the way, I wanted to compile that and implement it in my own label. And because I am a creator, I thought it would be able to do business well if she's also handling the business part. So she also emphasized that this is interesting because this is a known fact in many in the industry, but no, not a lot of people are actually saying this. She said that so the question is, they got a lot of brand deals, including Apple and Coca-Cola, and she said those large companies don't pay a lot of money, which is true. Bigger companies actually don't pay a lot of money. At least not usually. If you, especially if you start with them when you don't have a big name yet, they're probably not going to give you a lot, because for brands like Chanel, those brands, like, in their mind, they think that your name getting attached to their brand is more an advantage to you than it is to them. Okay. So she said that those large companies don't really pay a lot of money. There were other companies that were less known who wanted to partner with them, and were actually offering more. But she said, I chose people who I work with based on the absolute amount of money that they offer. I just think of the potential value. So she did the usual route. She decided to work with these big companies just because of the name. Because getting the name of New Jeans attached to the name of Apple and Coca-Cola and Nike, even though they're not paying a whole lot more, that is good for the brand of New Jeans. And she was right, because she started bagging all of this partnership, even though they only earned $22 million with so many endorsements. It was actually good for the brand of New Jeans. Let me know if something is not clear. Before we launched, so this is still her speaking. Before we launched New Jeans, my moving from SM to Hybe made the news because I was going to a competitor. I used that hype to my advantage. I accomplished a lot of things when I was at SM, and I left because I was not really satisfied with my life there. But I'm not saying that I came here because I love this company. I needed a place where I could actualize my vision. So she's saying that, no, she was given a chance to do whatever she wanted. And so that's why she decided to go with Big Hit. And then she mentioned V. I never expected. So, this is a very interesting part, and you have to really read it to understand what she was talking about. I never expected to work with V on V's solo album. He asked me for help, and he's so popular. So, I thought that it was a good opportunity for me to try new things with less pressure. The title song on Layover, called Slow Dancing, has an instrumental outro that is almost 1 minute long. That is not commercial at all. It's an artistic experiment, and it was a try I could go for because he is really popular. Some BTS fans want to compare how well one member's album does over another member's. BTS is a group that's been around for 10 years. They did their duty, basically, so I think it's time to focus less on the stats and just enjoy their music and let them do what they want to do. Do you understand what she's saying? Because when I read that part, I was like, huh. So she continues, my mindset was, when I was producing V, was to help him do the music that he could really enjoy. In commercial terms, there wasn't a reason for me to work on that album. It was just a one off thing. It was not that we were going to work together continuously going forward, and I was busy enough with New Jeans. So, me diverting some of my time to that project could have been a little risky. But his intentions were really pure. I wanted to make him nice memories, or maybe give him a gift. Unlike New Jeans, he doesn't have to be obsessed with numbers and things. Do you understand what she's saying? How she's positioning herself? Okay. Um, she's number one. Okay, one insight. She's emphasizing it was V who needed her, and it was a favor she did for V, right? Other songwriters, no matter how popular or successful a songwriter is, the polite thing to say is that it was an honor to work with them, right? Like, that's just a polite thing, and you should be honored to work with people, right? um but anyway, so that's the polite thing to say, like, oh, it was an honor, it was an interesting thing, I also wanted to learn things from them, right? Because that's like, be polite. You can say what it is that you want to say without actually um disrespecting the people that you worked with. She never said a thing about that. It was never about her learning from V. It was her giving something to V. That's how she positioned it. Um, like, he asked for my help. He asked me for my help, which is true. It was V probably who approached him. But for him, but she made sure to make everybody know that it was V who approached her, and she didn't have to do it, but she decided to do so. That this is not commercial at all. It is an artistic experiment, and it was a try I could go for because he is really popular. So she was going like, like I can just do what I want. I will just do what I want because he's popular anyway. So I'm just going to experiment without really giving any concern to sales, which is probably true. And I do believe that the members aren't really as concerned about the sales as we think they are, or as other people think they are. But it isn't necessarily a headspace you want to go into if you're working with a group like, or an artist like V or any of the members of BTS. Okay. So some fans, so she said that that is not commercial at all. It's an artistic experiment, and that's something that I could try because he was really popular. So he was like, he's popular anyway, so we're just gonna experiment. Some BTS fans want to compare how well one member's album does over another member's. BTS is a group that has been around for 10 years. They did their duty basically, so I think it's time to focus less on the stats and just enjoy their music. So she positioned it to mean that BTS has been obsessed about statistics, about numbers, which they have not been. That's why they went through such a depressive stage, because it wasn't what they really wanted. They wanted to make music, and it's just that the result of that love for music is the numbers. But she did it so smoothly that you're not noticing it. Okay. My mindset was I was producing for V was to help him do music that he could really enjoy, which is good. That is what is supposed to be what you are thinking of, something that he would enjoy. In commercial terms, there wasn't any reason for me to work on that album. Again, she's positioning herself to be the one who was needed in that album, not the other way around. It wasn't like positioning herself. She doesn't mention about learning from V. Maybe she will pick something up that it was something that she also wanted to do because whatever. Nothing of that sort. It was all about he needed me, so I decided to do it. He's already popular. At least I can just do jazz or whatever. But his intentions were really pure. I wanted to make him nice memories or maybe give him a gift. So, okay. Is that clear? So she said, Sunny said, so she had V sing about slow dancing where everyone danced alone. That MV is just a big disappointment, in my humble opinion. Beautiful song, awful MV. That was a snake move. Hence, I call her a snake. MG, she wasn't concerned about letting him down. No. No, I think so she said that she wanted to make sure my mindset was I was producing for V to help him do music that he could really enjoy, which is the right intention, right? Because you want the person to enjoy the process of making music. That is right. That is, I think that's one of the best things that she said. I don't know if she meant it, but that's one of the best things that she said. But she positioned herself to be the one that is needed in that album. Number one. Number two, there was no regard for V's experience. It was all about her bringing something to the table. She never mentioned about, oh, maybe I can learn something from V or maybe have like a great memory with V. Nothing of that sort. It was all about her. Okay. Now going back to New Jeans, I think when you're working with such young girls and you're somebody who owns this business, you have to have an ethical sense of mind. What I wanted to do was just like school, I wanted to teach them ways that would help them live a really happy life later on. Failed big time. Ethical sense of mind, absolute fail. Okay. um I get, yeah, I don't think she succeeded on that. But the one thing I remember, the chairman of Dabo Link last live stream that I did, when he started saying that one of the red flags is that in the this like 90% of the time during their conversation, she was just talking about herself. It was all about herself, like me, 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 me. And even the chairman actually mentioned it. And it is very noticeable here. In here, if you read the entire interview, she never gave the girls, the five girls, any credit for their success. It was her vision. She was the one who chose the songs. She chose the members. She gave it to the members, trained the members. It was all about her. If you watch her interview with Yoo Jae-suk, um, when they interviewed her, like fresh from the debut, she it was also the same thing. It was all about her vision. She wanted to be the one. Like Hybe had nothing to do with it, and apparently even New Jeans had nothing to do with their own success. It was her vision, this blah, this strategy, and every it was all about her. So it is so consistent with all of her interviews. It was all about her. If you listen to the 3 hour interview or read the transcript, in school, what was that, the show on YouTube where she went on. It went on for a live interview, and the interview went on for 3 hours. It was 100% her. She never gave any credit to the girls to their success. So it was like so different from all the other producers and all the other managers who are always giving credit to the artists for their success. Like if you realize like this two you hardly know. One is the founder and the CEO of Source Music, and then the other is the CEO and founder of B Lift Lab. This two, you've I'm pretty sure you've never heard any like long interviews with them, right? I think B Left Lab, the only time that he actually gave an interview was to defend Eyelid. Other than that, they don't really go give interviews to the public. Bang Shiyuk, when he gives interviews, it's more about the strategy and the business plans. But then when he is asked about the music, it was like, oh, you have to talk to the members or try to explain things as he knows it from the point of view of the members. But right from the get go, he said that he made a commitment to BTS, that BTS will always command their own creative journey. That was what he said from the beginning. And so, from the beginning to this day, no one has questioned the fact that BTS is in charge of their own creative journey, their own creative direction. It was always them. So, when he talks, it's always about business strategy, expanding to this. Why did he do Weavers, blah, this, that, whatever, how he trained them. But when it comes to the creatives, it is BTS. So, you need that kind of a person to manage the career of an artist. You need a kingmaker, right? Like for Lesser of Him, they are the ones that talk about their music whenever, which is similar to what how BTS is doing it. After an album, they will explain the process of how they created something, blah blah blah, and then in the latest album that they made, they heavily emphasize the involvement of Yoonji in the production, the songwriting, in the direction of their creatives. So you can see that there is an effort to emphasize that the girls are the ones that are in charge of their own creatives. I am emphasizing Le Seraphim because BTS is already a given. On the other hand, there are very few girl groups that are given the chance to actually control their own creatives, like Mamamoo, not in the beginning, but eventually it was them. And then the other would be G Idol. And then you have Le Seraphim. So I feel like we need to give these girls more chances of actually creating their own, like directing their own creatives. So groundbreaking entrepreneurs are king and queen makers, not king and queen wannabes, which I feel is what Mama Roach is. She wants to be the center of attention. She wants to be credited for the success of this, for the success of that. That she's forgetting at the end of the day, it should be the girls. It should be the five girls that is getting the credit for the popularity that they have. It should be them. She should be supporting them. But for her, it's all about her and all about her interviews, all about her vision and her success. There is a report that New Jeans left their dormitory already. There were some photos that were published in the Coup, which is a forum in South Korea, and proving that the apartment was already vacated. Now later on, it was released that the person who published, who took this photo, is a saseng. So he is a saseng, and then sent it to a YouTuber to get this published. But anyway, what when Adore heard that all of them left the apartment already, what Adore did was send staff, but they asked the each of the person that would go there to wear a body cam to make sure that whatever it is that they do is recorded, that nobody's violating anybody's privacy or whatever. So they asked their staff to go there, probably to clean up or something, just to make sure that you don't get accused of doing anything. They asked their staff to wear body cams. So right now they are out of the apartment, and what's happening when they were fulfilling whatever is left of their schedule, they would each go to the venue separately and also leave separately, but they will not be fetched and whatever, so nobody really knows where they are staying. But one of the things that Sniper 21, was it Sniper 21 on X, either Sniper 21 or Espangin, one of those two people that the talkies really hate so much, is that they said that it is a violation of Hani's visa to leave the house that is registered in her E6 visa. So she can't move to another place without the approval of Adore. Otherwise, it's a violation of her visa. Anyway, so that's the thing right now. Do you have questions? Taking out the trash. Oh, what Sasang is like, yeah, a crazy fan, like a stalker almost. If you would remember, Jungkook had the problem with Sasangs because they were sending him food in his apartment. How terrible is that? Like somebody's going to send you food that you didn't order. It's terrifying. You don't know what they put there. So almost every idol has had that. I remember one of the biggest controversies is TVXQ. I told you before they were really, really popular. So they were getting a lot of sassings, and some of the sassings would actually get in the way of their car. Like they would actually block the car. And so one of the members or two of the members of TVXQ actually got into a fist fight with assassins because they would not leave them alone. And then at another time, like no matter how much they changed their phone numbers, the assassins would know how to get in touch with them because allegedly the assassins had a connection with people inside telcos. So they pay people inside telcos to give them the phone numbers of the idols, the same way they pay people in airlines to give them the flight information of idols so that they can book the same flight and sit beside them.